Bonjour, mes amis. Je suis le Lâcher Canadien. And this is kind of like my NFL preview. Basically where I just try to go over the off season for each team and just try to give my honest opinion about how, their season will go. No, I'm no Adam Rank because I actually fucking would rather not focus on the record, but on the team, on how they improved or got worse in the off season. So with that, let's begin. This is the AFC edition of this video. Tomorrow will be NFC. So let's start with the AFC East in the form of the Buffalo Bills. So what did the Bills do this summer after, after their disappointing loss in the ALDS, the fucking divisional round to the Chiefs? Well, let's take a look. They got themselves another wide receiver in Jamison Crowder and Tavon Austin, as well as Stephon Diggs, with him getting an extension with the Buffalo Bills in that time. Like I said, Austin and Coop and Crowder joining the team from elsewhere. Also bringing in Jake Kumaro and Isaiah McKenzie, bringing him into extensions. They also brought in O.J. Howard to help solidify that tight end core. Other than that, it's just mainly been offensive line moves to help solidify, Josh Allen, making sure he doesn't get murdered. Oh yeah, they also got a couple of notable pieces for the defensive side. Shaq Lawson, Daquan Jones. Oh yeah, and this guy named Von Miller. So overall, the fucking Bills definitely got a lot better. And they have a hell of a season. Probably looking like another playoff run for them. And now we move on to the city of South, the Miami Dolphins. So what did they do to help try and get themselves better? They signed Teddy Bridgewater to hopefully back up Tua Tagovailoa just in case he gets injured. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you can use a reliable backup. Also getting some running help with Raheem Mostert and Sonny Michel, and as well as Chase Edmonds. I guess that's not overly terrible either. Same thing with fullback Alec Ingold, who, again, coming off of an injury, it's gonna be a little interesting to watch, but we'll see. On the wide receiving side, you got Cedric Wilson, Preston Williams, Trent Sherfield, Mohamed Sanu. Oh yeah, and they even got Tyreek Hill in a trade that cost them first, second, and fourth round picks in 22 and 23, fourth and sixth rounders. Jesus Christ. Little steep, yeah, but it's Tyreek Hill and he is fucking great. And you extended him for a 4-year deal? There you go. Mike Gesicki and Durham Smythe were obviously brought in by the team to help keep the tight end core as best as it possibly can, even though it's still not good. The only offensive line moves they made were for Connor Williams and Teron Armstead, but they should be fine. Most of the moves really came from, defense. Emmanuel Ogbah, John Jenkins, Melvin Ingram, Duke Riley, Elandon Roberts, Brennan Scarlett, and Xavier Howard. That should hopefully be good. They should be alright, but they're not going to be the best team in the AFC East. That's probably going to be Buffalo. Now moving on to my team, the New England Patriots. Simply not put it like this. They didn't do much, but they had to do what they had to do in order to get somewhere. And no, that does not include drafting Cole Strange in the first round when he's a projected third rounder. I don't know. They brought in a new running back in Ty Montgomery, which hopefully should be a good backup, even though they got Ramondre Stevenson and J.J. Taylor. With Jordan Humphrey, Devontae Parker are brought in, the latter via trade for only a fifth and a third. And the only offensive line shit that they did, that they needed to do more, Darrell Williams, James Ferentz, and Trent Brown. I still feel like they should have done more. Other than that, they traded longtime Patriot and defensive end Chase Winovich to the Browns for Mack Wilson, who hopefully should be a good linebacker. Other than that, they brought back Malcolm Butler. Too bad that this team doesn't look like Super Bowl contenders of years past. Not yet, at least. We also got in Terrence Mitchell. Okay. And you re-signed Devin McCourty and brought in Jabril Peppers. Again, Nick should be okay, but we'll see how that pans out for real. At least he kept Nick Folk around. And special team Matthew Slater. Well, at least they made some moves. Should be good for top 3 in the AFC East. But now we get to the butt fumble New York Jets. So what did you guys do? You kept Flacco and Mike White around? Okay, that's something. You also re-signed Tevin Coleman. And you re-signed Braxton Berrios. But the real stuff was on the tight end. Tyler Conklin and Super Bowl finalist CJ Uzomah coming on over to the New York Jets. I like the Uzomah contract, especially considering it's not terrible, but at the same time it could be better. Other than that, their O-line just consisted of Dan Feeney, Lincoln Tomlinson, Dan Feeney. I don't know why the hell Dan Feeney's on here twice, and Connor McDermott. But in that same token, their defensive additions weren't really that much. Nathan Shepard was re-signed. Solomon Thomas was given a 1-year deal. Not terrible. Quan Alexander, that was probably the biggest addition. Jacob Martin, DJ Reed, again, he's solid. Jordan Whitehead, another solid addition if he can pan out. And LaMarcus Joyner, coming off of a good year. And then the kicker, they got him. Greg the Leg Zuerlein. They actually got him to join the Jets. Very interesting indeed. Very, very interesting. But we move on to the AFC North, where Edgar Allan Poe reads us a poem about ravens or something in the city of Baltimore. The Ravens really didn't even do much. Bringing in on the defensive side, they brought in Marcus Williams and Kyle Fuller, as well as Josh Bynes and Justin Houston. And they're just solidifying their defensive line with Brett Urban, Calais Campbell, and Michael Pierce. On the offense, they really only got 3 people. Offensive tackle Morgan Moses, which should help somewhat, but we'll see how that really pans out. Fullback Patrick Ricard on a 3-year, and Mike Davis on a 1-year. Davis came off of a kind of up and down year in Atlanta, so hopefully the new start should, and again I say should, be okay. How that's really going to pan out, I don't know, but one way to find out, I guess. Now moving on to the Super Bowl finalist Cincinnati Bengals. This team is lovable. Okay, I'll say it. This team is fucking lovable. But Jesus Christ all fucking mighty. They knew that Joe Burrow got set the fuck tongue last offseason. And they decided to go all in. To start, they got his backup in Brandon Allen secure. On a tight end, they gave him another weapon in Hayden Hurst to compensate the loss of CJ Uzomah. But now the O-line actually looks sturdy. Lyle Collins, Alex Kappa, and Ted Karras. That is actually going to be looking really damn good. And if anything, that's actually going to be a solid offensive line in Cincinnati. On the defensive side, more of the same. Bringing in B.J. Hill, Josh Tupou, somehow letting Eli Apple run another year with you guys. Trey Flowers, Jesse Bates receiving the franchise tag. You know he wants more fucking money. Michael Thomas and Clark Harris. Again, should be good for now, but for how long can you really keep it? Moving on to the Cleveland Browns, and we'll talk about the Watson thing. At the time of this recording, it is 1 a.m. on Monday morning Eastern. The reported suspension duration for Deshaun Watson is not made available yet. It will be out at some point today. If it's happened, well, I'll make a short about it regardless, so you'll just see it whenever it happens. But onto the Browns acquisitions in the offseason. Okay, so you told Baker Mayfield to fuck off. And so you trade Baker Mayfield to Carolina after you brought in the guy that did some very horrible things when he was still a member of the Texans. And you gave this man $230 million fully fucking guaranteed. You guys proud of yourselves yet? Oh, no, there's more. They had to bring in Jacoby Brissett and Josh Rosen just to make sure that their asses were good. As well as Josh Dobbs. For whatever reason. On the receiving core, you did okay. Amari Cooper for actually a pretty good price on a 5th round draft pick from Dallas. Jakeem Grant on a 3-year deal. And keeping around David Njoku for a while. Okay. On your offensive line, you really didn't do much. Just even Pocic and Chris Hubbard. Just that. For the defensive end, for the defensive part, you did fucking solid with this. Jadeveon Clowney, again, great signing. Stephen Weatherly, solid. Acquiring Chase Winovich and losing Mac Wilson on your own, which is not the best thing, but hey, Chase Winovich is solid. Taven Bryan, Anthony Walker, and keeping around Denzel Ward for a few years. Hey, you got what you needed. As well as Ronnie Harrison. But really, other than that, just signing punter Corey Bojorquez and signing kicker Chase McLaughlin should do it, I guess. I don't know. Do not what you will, Browns. You guys have fucked the QB for a little bit. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Stellars. Now, what did they do? Not a lot. A decent amount, but not the most. At QB, they brought in Mitch Trubisky and drafted Kenny Pickett, which, now there's a three-way race for who's going to start in Week 1. Reports say that it's going to be Mason Rudolph, but I wouldn't rule out Kenny Pickett. Maybe even Mitch Kitson-titties. You can only just wait with that one. Then in wide receiver, you only just claimed a guy off waivers in Miles Boykin. So, that's not overly terrible. So at least you didn't have to give up much. For offensive line, you just got Chukwuma Okorafor, James Daniels, and Mason Cole. Again, should be good to help strengthen that O-line. For the defense, though, this is where you actually did decent. Larry Ogunjobi, Jernard Avery, Miles Jack, Arthur Malay, Levy Wallace, Akel Witherspoon, and keeping around Minka Fitzpatrick and Terrell Edmonds. As well as signing DeMonte Cassie and Miles Killebrew. As well as Carl Joseph, because Carl Joseph. Look at that, you managed to snag away Gunnar Olszewski from the Patriots. As a kick returner. So, in all, you did okay. I mean, that's all I can say. You did okay. Now, on to the AFC South. We start with the troubled Texans, who have their own shit to deal with because of Deshaun Watson. That's how bad that got. But at least he got a shit ton of first-round picks for the next few years. So be happy with that. To kind of fill in that hole, they signed 3 QBs, none of them good. Really, the most notable guy they got was Kyle Allen, I guess. They decided to go more on the running back spree and decided to sign Royce Freeman, Marlon Mack, and Daryl Ogunbowale, with Mack really being the best one out of that bunch. The fullback is just Janovich, but nothing really much there. Your receiving core, you kept around, you got Brandon Cooks, you re-signed Chris Conley and Chad Bebe. I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. The tight end is just Pharaoh Brown. Nothing really much there. You solidified your O-line a little bit, though. AJ Cann, Justin Britt, and Cedric O'Billy. Again, nothing spontaneous, just enough. One step at a time. And then you got guys like Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Ogbo Okoronkwo, Christian Kirksey, Neville Hewitt, Kamu Greger-Hill, Blake Cashman, Malik Collins, and just to name a few. Because there are a lot of names in here. And look at that, you even got Desmond King. So at least you got that. But now going on to the Colts, because there really isn't much to say about the Texans, because they're just always going to be garbage. You got two new QBs, Nick Foles and Matt Ryan. Who's be the starter? Well, you're going to have to find out sooner rather than later. I just don't know who it is right now. You got Philip Lindsay to back up Jonathan Taylor, just in case anything happens, which is okay. The only receiving thing that you made was Mo Alley Cox on a 3-year deal, bringing him back. And you just really got Dennis Kelly and Matt Pryor to hopefully solidify the O-line, which really won't do much. On the defense, you got Stephon Gilmore and you got Yannick Ngakoue. The latter being from a trade with the Vegas Raiders for Rock Ya-Sin. So you're going to miss that, but at least you got Stephon Gilmore to fill in that gap at corner. So hey, it all worked out in Indy, I guess. Pat McAfee would be very proud of it. Well, that's not when he's punting balls at SummerSlam. I can't fucking hold a straight face at that. If you saw the show, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know, just watch the highlights on YouTube. They're there. Now, on to the Jaguars. They've actually been somewhat busy. For starters, getting Zay Jones and Christian Kirk to well, Zay Jones' contract wasn't that bloated. But Christian Kirk's kind of was. I mean, Kirk is a great receiver, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of bloated. And you keep around requiring Treadwell for a bit. Oh, look at that. Why do you get friggin' Evan Ingram? The dude has brick hands. He ain't gonna do shit. But other than that, Brandon Scherf, Tyler Shatley, and Cam Robinson should actually be good alignment for the Jaguars. For the defense, it's more just... why? Adam Gotsis, Arden Key, Foley Fatukasi, Foy Alukan, Trey Herdon, and Darius Williams. Nothing really much there, but it's probably an upgrade from what it was before. You just went from shit to slightly less shit. Now on to the Titans. Other than trading AJ Brown at the fucking draft for a first that turned into Treylon Burke. Yeah, that's how that one went for you. Nice one on that one, guys. Sad. Forgot to mention that fucking Hollywood Brown thing to the Cardinals, but hey. Dontrell Hilliard re-signed with the Titans. At least got Robert Woods in the trade for a 6 next year, which isn't terrible, considering he's still a good receiver. And coming off of a Super Bowl, too. For tight ends, it's just Austin Hooper and Jeff Swain. Hooper still needs to prove himself a little bit, and Jeff Swain, never heard of the dude, but sorry. For O-line, it's just Jamarco Jones and Ben Jones. Just the Jones. And they really didn't even do shit on defense. It's just Harold Landry, Buster Skrine, and Morgan Cox. I really don't even know what else to say to that. But now, finally, the AFC West. Let me just say, before I get on to the Broncos, this division was stacked this offseason. It was stacked. Okay? It was fucking stacked. The AFC West is probably going to be the most difficult division in football. Let's put it like this, okay? You lose... So we'll start with the Broncos. You lose out on Drew Lock. You trade Noah Fant. And you trade Shelby Harris. But what do you get? You get the prodigal son in Russell Wilson. Look at that. You actually got a QB. Good. And you re-signed Melvin Gordon? Okay, that's even better. Now what about your O-line? Billy Turner, Tom Compton, Cameron Fleming, and Calvin Anderson. Not bad. Not terrible. Okay. But how you guys? But what about your tight end? Because Eric Sauber isn't gonna be your number one guy. I feel like they still need to get a freaking tight end somehow or some way. For defense, it's just Randy Gregory, stealing him from the Cowboys at the midnight hour. DJ Jones, Deshaun Williams, Josie Jewell, Malik Reed, Quan Williams, Kareem Jackson, Alex Singleton. Pretty good. No, I think the Broncos got better, but in saying that, yeah, I think they still need more weapons and more other things. Now, moving on to the Kansas City Chiefs, where they just really remain the Kansas City Chiefs, other than, well, at least he got back Chad Henne on a good 1 year deal. Oh yeah, what's this? You brought in the good running back in fucking Ronald Jones from Tampa Bay. Look at that, you actually managed to snag one of them from the Bucs. Oh yeah, you even brought in Jerry McKinnon. For wide receiver, you had a great loss in Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. But what do you do to compensate that? Well, Corey Coleman, that's good. But he hasn't played an NFL game in nearly 4 years. Juju Smith-Schuster, okay, on a 1 year deal. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he has a lot of ups. He has some upside. I won't talk about that now. Blake Bell for the tight end side for the Chiefs. But really, the offensive line, they just added Orlando Brown and Austin Reeder. Although Orlando Brown wants some money, he does. For defense, they did really well too. Deion Bush, Jermaine Carter, Carlos Dunlap, Frank Clark, just to name a few. And all, the Chiefs actually kind of maintained form and then some. That's all I can really say. Now on to the Vegas Raiders. And the Vegas Raiders had one of the best off seasons in their recent memory. I mean, to start, you get Derek Carr back on a 3-year extension. Kind of a bloated one, but he is one of the most underrated QBs in the league. And you added Garrett Gilbert, Nick Mullins, and Jared Steiner for whatever reason. For running backs, you just added Jacob Johnson, Brandon Bolden, and Amir Abdullah. But for wide receiver, though, is where you thrive the most. Demarcus Robinson, Hunter Renfrow getting extended, Keelan Cole, in the big prize via trade, Devontae Adams, who also got extended to a good contract. You're lucky, I don't know why Green Bay would ever trade Devontae Adams, but guess what? Congratulations. You actually somehow, some way, snagged Devontae Adams and have given Derek Carr one of the best weapons of his NFL career. Good job. For tight end, you just added Jacob Hollister, but nothing really much. And you really didn't even add much O-line either in Brandon Parker. Now for the defense, again, you thrived pretty good. You extended Max Crosby to a 4-year deal worth $98.98 million. Chandler Jones, you snagged him from the Cardinals, which is really good. It adds a lot to your defensive core. Vernon Butler, Jonathan Hankins, Bilal Nichols, I guess, running out the defensive line. And for the back end, you got Rocky Sin in exchange for Yannick Ngakoue, Daron Harmon, Anthony Averett, Kenny Young, Kyle Fackrell, and Jalen Brown round out the remainder of those additions. In all, I think the Raiders had a hell of a good offseason, and I cannot wait to see how they do. But my predictions will come after this team. The Chargers. You guys didn't do much either. You guys fell short after your coach was a fucking idiot and called a timeout when overtime was pretty much nearly over, and pretty much just gifted the fucking playoff berth to the Raiders and just told Justin Herbert to go fuck himself. But other than that, you really didn't do much. It was just mainly a few re-signings of Mike Williams, DeAndre Carter, and Chase Daniel for whatever reason. On tight end, you brought in Gerald Everett on a good 2-year, $12 million deal. Again, not bad. For defense, though, you did good. Really good. For starters, you got the defensive prize in J.C. Jackson from the Patriots. You also brought in Kyle Van Noy. And you got Bryce Callahan. And as a nice little exchange, you even got Khalil Mack for a 2nd and a 6th. Congratulations, Chargers. You had a hell of an offseason defensively. And you even got Josh Harris just to round it out. I mean, you also got Morgan Fox, Christian Covington, Austin Johnson, and Sebastian Joseph Day. But I said the 4 main pieces on that defense you guys got. And it fucking shows. Now, you guys had a hell of an offseason. No doubt about it. Now, who do I think is going to be slotted into each seed? Well, let's put it this way. The AFC East is going to be automatically going to the Buffalo Bills. I'm not denying that for a second. For the AFC North, I still feel that the Bengals are going to have a lot in them. So I'm expecting the Bengals to win the AFC North. For the AFC South, I still feel that is Titans country. Although the Colts will not be far behind this time. And in the AFC West, now it's a tight race. I'm stuck between the Chiefs and I'm stuck between the Raiders. No, I know, right? The Raiders in the fucking topic of the AFC West title scene. Man, I'm still going to give it to the Chiefs, but the Raiders are going to be very, very close. But the wild cards, I'm just going to simply put New England, Indianapolis. No, not even Indianapolis. Fuck them. New England, Los Angeles Chargers, Indianapolis Colts. Pats, Colts, Chargers. Straight out. The Broncos, they need more, but really, I think 1 seed is going to be Buffalo, 2 seed Kansas City, 3 seed Cincinnati, 4 seed Tennessee, with wild card seeds being 5 Chargers, 6 Patriots, and 7 Colts. That is my prediction for that, but how it actually work out, you just have to wait for the season and see. But anyways, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below what you guys want to see next. If you haven't done so already, subscribe and join the Electrical Nation. Until next time, je suis le Lâché Canadien, bonne nuit, et au revoir.